This monk PvP build is probably the best PvP build for a monk as of now, or at least in my opinion. This build is updated version of my old broken monk build, but it's still a monk build, so it is not that easy to play, and you know it is a monk, so you don't have super easy time, but it's super cool to play this. But let's go over the skills. So we use Fist of Thunder, Wave Strike, Mystic Strike, Shield of Zen, and Wave of Light is the new skill we have on here. Now onto the set items, we are once again using 4 pieces of Vitu's Urge. We definitely need the beneficial duration, and the attack speed is nice to have. Now we also have once again Gloomgood's Price 4 piece. We definitely need the critical hit chance, and the damage increase is nice to have after we dash. Now the new item is Peal of the Thunder. That just explodes around you whenever you use Wave of Light, and it also has 7 seconds cooldown, so this is amazing. Now we are using Calefaction instead of the dash one. The dash one is pretty bad nowadays because damage is huge, the shield is low, so that's good bad in my opinion. Then we of course use Will Below, Reticent Wind, Fate Align, Branding Bond, Pensive Crown, and Ease and Clarity. And now I will get to why we do use this and what you should know about this build, and I'm also going to give you some combo options you can use with this build. So why this build is good? Now the old broken or Hadouken monk build had huge movement speed, invisibility, and huge burst potential, and this build has it all, but now we also have huge AoE CC with even higher burst potential. So this build is just upgraded version of the Hadouken, and also because we have AoE burst with CC capabilities, it means you don't have to aim so much with your Will Below, so this just makes the build also easier, although all the enemies are harder now compared to half a year ago. So what makes Peal of the Thunder so appealing with this build? Well, first off, 7 seconds cooldown with a AoE CC with huge burst potential is amazing. Like Will Below has 6 seconds cooldown, basically the same damage as Peal, but it doesn't have the AoE capabilities, and the range is almost the same on the Peal. So Peal of the Thunder is amazing. And now if we add the terror effect, Wave of Light deals 25% increased critical hit damage when you are within 3 yards of your target. So if you dash to the enemy with the Fate Align and Branding Bond, you get 57% damage increase already to your Peal of the Thunder. So now, if you have 4 pieces of increased damage, you have 100% increased critical damage. And now if you do critical hit, as you've seen on the start of the video, I hit 180,000 damage. Now if I had 4 pieces of this, that would be easily over 200,000 damage. That is insane. And when we also combine Ease and Clarity's movement speed buff with the burst potential, so you can get in and out really quickly, or you can swap lanes fastly if you have to, you can have this on almost all the time with Pensive Crown and with Vitu's Urge, getting you 30% beneficial duration, and from Pensive Crown you get 39%, and these stacks. With this you have 8 to 9 seconds on time with Ease and Clarity's buff, which is already amazing. But if you also have 3 pieces of awakened items, so you have Chest, Head, and Calefaction, you get 30% Shield of Zen's cooldown reduction, and that means you have 10 seconds cooldown on your Shield of Zen, meaning you have 8 to 9 seconds on time with your Ease and Clarity's buff. You still have Shield of Zen all the time, but the buff lasts 8 to 9 seconds. So you have 8 to 9 seconds of 40% movement speed, and then you have 1 or 2 seconds off time before you can pop your Calefaction once again. But because Calefaction is on all the time, we do get that 35% damage reduction all the freaking time, and we get knockback immunity all the time, which is also a knock up immunity. Now to get just a little bit more movement speed, we are using Brawler Paragons 3 because that increases our maximum life and our size. And we should already know size increases your movement speed. With this you get 5%, and with Combat Expertise that is increased to 8%. So that's basically 8% movement speed increase just from Brawler 3. And you also get some damage reduction the more enemies there are, and you also get a pretty nice shield when you have enemies around you and they hit you 5 times in 3 seconds. It does have 30 seconds cooldown, but this is good and nice. If you don't want, you can go with Gladiator to get that cheated, but personally I do like Brawler more. And because this is a PvP build, I'm going to show you some combos that you can use in PvP. But before I do that, please consider liking and subscribing the video if you actually do like the content. So the bread and butter combo will be Mystic Strike to Wave of Light. Now you can use Mystic Strike and Wave Strike, but I highly recommend using Mystic Strike 10 Wave of Light because Wave of Light has that huge AoE. And once you do knock the enemies with the Wave of Light, then you can use Wave Strike, because then they are standing still because they are knocked, and it's so much easier to aim with the Wave Strike afterwards. And you can also use the Mystic Strike to not hit the target, just going invisibility. Just remember you have 4 to 6 seconds time to use your Wave of Light before the buff ends from your Fate Light. Now that was just an engage, but basically your full combo should look something like this. You use Mystic Strike, Wave of Light, follow up with Wave Strike, and then you use another Mystic Strike followed up by Wave of Light and end up with Wave Strike. Now if you have a lot of enemies and you cannot use Wave Strike to hit them all after you've used Wave of Light, I highly recommend just hitting another Mystic Strike and then using another Wave of Light, because then you have AoE and you're going to guarantee to hit every one of those enemies if they are in range. And this combo is also the highest burst combo you can do. So Mystic Strike, Wave of Light, Mystic Strike, Wave of Light. That is the highest burst potential you have with this build if you need quick damage out. And you only have 14 seconds to get those Wave of Lights back, but unfortunately Mystic Strike still has 12 seconds cooldown, so that'll take a little longer. And do note that you can start every single of this combo with a Wave Strike if you want to do so. Sometimes it's really good if someone is healing and you can hit them with the Wave Strike, and then you get the true combo going on, basically free. And you can weave primary attacks between every single skill, because every single skill has a knockback. But just remember, if you try to weave too many primary attacks in between of these, the enemy will escape from your combo. Do try to be quick with the weaving if you want to do that. And because every skill has a knockback, you don't really need to do the combos, it's just optional and most likely the highest burst damage, but please do use whatever you have off cooldown. This is all, I'm out, I'll catch you on the next one.